was feeling bad because I
We
did.
are on. Woo!
Woo! Are you ready? What's up? What's up? How we doing tonight, beautiful family, friends, and my closest loved ones?
Wait, I gotta yell
For
like
those
that.
of you that want to know,
Are we ready?
Oh my God.
That sounds like MMAers. Are we ready?
I got nervous. I did not sign up for this.
You sure did. Don't be acting all like well-behaved now. Don't be acting all well-behaved.
I'm using my midnight voice.
Your midnight voice? Wait a minute. Let's do your midnight
Don't
voice.
start. Don't.
Hello. We got Carrie in the house.
I'm just gonna let them two go.
You're too much.
I'm just gonna enjoy the show.
People, I know that you guys thought it was funny with me and Raymond, but now we got Carrie. So now you're gonna see what happens with Carrie in it. It's us three. And it's
Look at Ray.
Anyway. How's everybody doing out there? How's everyone doing out there? Let me put my glasses on. Let me get all. I'm gonna get
Lord. Whew. 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 So you see what happens.
It's on and popping.
It's on and popping. Hey, how we doing tonight, everybody? Welcome to the what do we call ourselves? The Transformational Talk with Ray and Sarai with guest speaker Carrie Crosby in the house. Yes. Yo, we about to light this thing up. Y'all about to have like your own. I hope you got popcorn. I hope you got fireworks because there's about to be about to blow some minds.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Carrie,
sir.
Carrie, how do I go back to like the other? Just a little lesson in the middle of the whole life. Like, how do I go back to our names?
You just click on his comment again and click on hide.
Are you kidding me? You've been doing this long. You just wanted to ask a silly question.
Oh, hide. Okay, I got it. Today I learned two things on StreamYard. Two things. You see, guys, you don't got to show up perfect. Just show up and you learn as you go. And that's it.
Look. You know the weird thing about that is I even knew that.
Well, look what I did today. I did a banner in the bottom today. Look at it flying by there saying, "Welcome to Transformation."
Oh, is that what a banner is? Is that what a banner is? I didn't even know what a banner was.
No. That's a ticker. A banner is if it was still.
Oh, okay, so sorry. I learned how to do a ticker today. So there's my ticker. And a banner is what I usually have up there. Like, this is a banner.
Look.
Yeah,
you got you what you got is you got a ticker. You got something ticking. That's so I'm trying. I can't find it.
I completely forgot to start sharing. Hey guys, how's everybody doing out there? Tell us what's up. I know Sam says he's gonna need a prayer after this live, he says.
Not because of us, right?
I think that might be what he means. I don't know. Lori says
maybe we're all gonna have to pray after this one. I don't know.
But what'd you say? MJ says it's good seeing us together. We got good seeing us together. We don't have a name for us three, and we don't even we just have a sort of name for me and Raymond because we're still trying to figure out the name.
How do I share? I don't even know. Like, this is the problem I had last time. I don't even know how to share.
I got it. It's all good.
Apparently it is all good. How's everybody doing? How was your day today? What have you all done today? I've been, I'm taking some products from this new thing I got into, and it's got me talking a lot. It has me high energy and not eating, so it's doing its job. Like this is my third live today because apparently I got a lot to say today for some reason.
You're on fire.
And Carrie has been ultra quiet, so yeah.
I have not.
Except for at midnight she starts talking, so that's the time we got to catch Carrie.
She observes during the day, right?
Yeah.
She observes during the day.
Exactly.
Yo, I learned how to share it.
Oh, good. It's gonna be shared to everybody's page 4 times.
So I can't believe he just learned how to share. Like, really? You just learned how to share?
I can't believe you're like nothing.
Nothing.
I didn't want to. You guys missed the beginning of this. See, I tell all the secrets.
You do. You have a big mouth. You tell.
Hey,
bloopers. We got you to say it all.
No, we don't need bloopers. We got transparent Ray.
For real. Like we have way too transparent.
Hey,
transparent Ray.
Yes.
Y'all gotta know. I've been with kids doing this FCA camp all week, which has been a blessing. God has showed His presence. But I'm telling you right now, these kids right here, boy, oh boy, oh boy. It you definitely will pray for patience. You'll pray for them. You'll pray for patience and peace.
That's so
And
true.
and it's exciting though, you know. And I think we prayed today that tomorrow is going to be a day of we're just going to see mighty things tomorrow. So what are you doing?
For anyone, wait, yes, I have my hand up already. For anyone that has been following Raymond, I just want you guys to notice something I just noticed. Yesterday, it started off so nice. Hey guys, this is an amazing thing we're doing. Look, everyone, look at how great. And now he's like, look, I just pray for patience.
You got to pray for patience with kid and the heat and everything.
And the heat.
Look. Hey, I would love to see you out there.
I already told. I don't work well with like 8 and 9 year olds.
I don't think I'd ever do it.
I can tell you what to do with 7, 8, 9-year-old kids, but I don't have patience for that.
Oh, we already know because yours walk all over you.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I'll either let them walk all over me.
You know the worst thing is, and then my kids come in, and then she gets my kids to walk all over me.
Oh my God.
What's up, Carrie? You saw it firsthand.
I mean, I saw it.
Do you know? Look, I got a witness, man. I got a witness. That's all that matters. I got a witness.
Who's the witness, Carrie?
Oh man.
Carrie's a witness. She saw how you really like critiqued my fatherhood.
Your fatherhood.
My fatherhood.
You know, we gotta let
first, and then she kind of went rogue.
You gotta let kids think they're winning even though it's you the one that's winning. But you gotta learn how to do these things. All right. Anyhow, let's get professional.
Do I look like my cup?
Carrie, are you here with us or are you somewhere else? Because you're not even
talking to the people in the chat is what I'm doing.
You're like, help, get me out of here.
All right, oh my God.
MJ, don't be boosting her up, MJ. Don't boost her up. Please don't boost her up.
All right, guys. Welcome. I mean, it's been like a 10-minute welcome. Welcome to Transformational Talk with Ray and Sarai. And we have our super duper special guest and business partner and what do you call it? Internet best friend. Here with us today. So it's going to be a awesome live. And it's also Carrie's favorite topic. Look at Carrie's face. And so today we're going to talk about how to be your own hero. And Carrie has a very special twist to this, which is what, Carrie? You said how to be your own hero is by being your own
best friend. Absolutely.
But maybe what we should do first, because there might be people out there that have never seen or met us before. So we're together. Well, I mean, Raymond's better at describing what we do, or maybe you are, because I might mess it all up. But what do we do together, Raymond and Carrie? What are we?
So the three of us. For me, I think each of us bring our own little twist, but I think the ultimate prize is I believe that we're chain breakers, and if anything, we're game changers. So basically, when I say game changers, is everybody has a game of life. Whatever their game is in that life, right? They have a direction they want to go, but they lack resources. Sometimes they lack opportunity. Sometimes they just lack belief that they can. There's so many things that get thrown into the course of of the journey, right? So the three of us like to get together. We like to communicate what's worked for us, what we see works best for our clients, what we see works best for our classes, and then we collaborate to create something that can take people to the next level in their lives. So it's all about leveling up. It's helping people get to really to learn to be the best them that they can be, so they can start to do the things that they've always wanted to do, and to give them the courage and the resources and the tools and the coaching to actually do it. So at least that's the way I see it.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
So anyway,
I love it.
what was I don't even know what I was going to say right now. So wait, I'm trying to hide stuff and do the hiding thing that you told me.
So anyways, I want to let's introduce ourselves, because I don't know. I mean, most of us already know it. So you guys know, I think this is mine and Sarai's 6th week doing this podcast. This is something that I really see transforming into something bigger, however long it takes. This is something that we want to do. And it's kind of just like what we got going on in the background. So we got some great things coming up, and we're going to even having better things coming up over the years. I see it, and I hope you guys see something for yourself. So you guys know me. I'm Raymond Wright. I always say I'm your motivator, I'm your inspirator, I'm your transformator. But most importantly, we want to help you to get from where you're at to where you want to go, and everything that you need resource-wise, so you can live the life that you have always chosen to. And this is Sarai, and then Sarai will introduce our bestie. So I'm good.
You said this is Sarai, and you pointed to Carrie.
It doesn't matter where I point. Are you always worried about the pointing thing?
All right, I'll say myself. This is Sarai here. I am Sarai. I am Sarai Nammur. You said I'm the transformator, all that. I am a trauma therapist. I'm a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. I'm the founder of Trinity Community Mental Health Center in Miami. We work with foster kids, and we're a trauma-informed agency, which means that anyone that comes to our doors, we see you through the trauma lens, and we try to help you with that. I'm also a transformational life coach, and I'm the founder of Circle of Champions Worldwide, where many of you are part of. We have a Facebook group. I just got lost in everything that I was saying. We have a Facebook group, Circle of Champions Worldwide, and many of you are part of that. So awesome! I talked about that earlier today, and I just want to say that us three together, we're doing big things together, and we created the Rise Up Masterclass, which is coming up pretty soon again. But we're planning on doing more and more stuff together and creating more programs to help you become more of you and help you get closer to your true identity and your true authentic self. So that's what I was going to say. Now it's Carrie's turn.
You got it. She got her point right, Ray. I have no idea. StreamYard always gets me so confused because you have to go like all sorts of ways. It's always flipped. So whatever. I am Carrie Crosby. Most of the people I see in here right now, I do know. So hello, thank you for joining us. I greatly appreciate it. I am a certified professional mindfulness coach. I specialize in self-development and helping you move your mental blocks and declutter your mind and just really walk into the best self and live your best life. So one of the things that I am very passionate about, though, is truly being your best friend, which is what I call the format of coaching that I do, is really showing you, not telling you, not training you, not forcing you, but showing you how to be your best friend first. Because we all say we cannot pour from an empty cup, but we definitely need to reroute that to just giving from our overflow instead and really filling ourselves up first. So that's me. That's what I do. That's my part in this whole little thing we got going on here.
Awesome, you are okay. So, all right. So today's topic is how to be your own hero and how to be your own best friend. So, who's gonna start with that? Or do you guys have any questions or about this, or you want to be involved, go ahead and join us by asking questions or making any comments.
Any questions, definitely questions. We want questions. And
yes, questions are the best.
Especially like for tonight, especially because, and I guess for me, the reason I want you guys to ask questions, because we're going to talk about being your own hero and your best friend, but tonight is like a flow. We want you guys to get involved tonight. We're not going to respond to every comment, but we are looking for questions because we want to be able to answer. Ask us if you got something that you need, because the ultimate purpose of the three of us is to really start to change people's lives. We're in a time right now that we've never seen before. And the one thing that I always say is we have to do this. We have to understand that if we leave the situation that we're in the same as the way we came into it, then we have failed ourselves. And it's hard to be your own hero if you don't do something in any situation, good, bad, or indifferent, to better yourself in the process. Because if we're not getting better, then obviously we're getting worse. Because with age over time, we're only going to fall back. And when you're not in the right mindset and you're not loving yourself, you're not being who you want to become, even though the process is hard. And the older you get with those limiting beliefs, the more that you're going to think you can't do it. Mm-hmm. And that's why we want you guys to crush these strongholds right now. We want to eliminate this negative thinking. And I always said first, it's not just thinking positive, right? It's having a better self-image of yourself. And that starts with what Carrie talks about, is being your best friend. So I just wanted to lay that out.
Yeah, and while you were saying that, I was thinking to myself, like, I want everyone that's watching right now, sort of think to yourself, like, just think 1 year back. Think 1 year back, what were your goals 1 year ago? What did you tell yourself that you wanted to accomplish? And I know that this year came, I was going to say a little weird, but it's beyond weird. We're like in the twilight zone. So think back 1 year ago and think about like the things that you really wanted a year ago, and ask yourself, or just analyze on your own, how far have you gotten in the goals that you set for yourself a year ago? Are you where you want to be? And if you're not where you want to be, just take a minute to ask yourself, could it be that you're not where you had planned and where you want to be because you didn't hold yourself to the highest level? Could it be that you weren't your best friend? Could it be that you've been doing things for others that you still haven't even done for yourself? And I think Raymond was saying this the other day, or today, or a day ago. One of these days, you were saying in one of your lives, you were saying you gotta show up for yourself first, or you gotta do for yourself first, or you gotta love yourself first, something like that. Pretty much, it all means the same thing. So, in the last year, how much love have you given to yourself? And I'm asking these questions just to trigger for whoever's watching to think about it. How much love have you shown for yourself? How much have you done for yourself? If you were your own best friend, like Carrie says, if you were your own best friend, would you have treated yourself the way you've treated yourself this past year? And I have no idea how you've treated yourself, but for the most part, we usually treat other people way better than we treat ourselves. If we tell someone, hey, I'm going to call you today at 9 p.m. because we're going to have an appointment, I mean, I'll show up 5 minutes late every time. But for the most part, I'll be right around 9 p.m. to meet with you because I said I was going to be there and my word means something, right? But how many times do we tell ourselves that we're going to do something, but we don't show up for ourselves? How many times does that happen? And let's just be honest. If you want to be honest in the comments and say it, go ahead. I'll be honest. I'll say a lot. Sometimes I drop off the map for myself too, and it's something that I have to constantly work on, and I've gotten better at it, with time. Definitely gotten better with it. But sometimes I would have a plan, and I would be in the middle of going hard, and all of a sudden I'd stop, and a whole year went by, and I just stopped. The only time I haven't done that really was when I did Circle of Champions last year. That now I have so many people that I talk to and I'm engaged with, that it's hard for me to not show up for myself now, even though I've done it. And you guys know it. So there's been times where I just disappear for like a couple weeks, and that's just my pattern that I try to break through. So I also have my patterns. So let's be honest about our patterns. Everyone out there, it's you, Carrie. You're all over the place. I was gonna say your name, Lori, Alexandra, Jamie. What could you guys do a little better, or how could you show up for yourself a little more and be your own hero, and hold yourself accountable and show up for yourself? Michelle Jones is there. My cousin Francisco is there. His you know, I call him Penchy Cool. He probably doesn't want me to call him that. But what do you guys think about, like, what do you guys have to say about, like, about that? Are you guys where you want to be, like, from a year ago to now? Have you shown up for yourself?
Well, I see that Tracy puts in the comments. She said, "I feel guilty if I try to work on myself."
Me and her have talked about that. She's definitely. So Carrie, why don't you? Because me and you have talked, and I think we both at a certain point have felt this way. Like, why don't you elaborate on that a little bit? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what is your thoughts on that? Because that is something that people do. I got a couple people.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. I do not believe there's anyone that have not at some point put someone or something ahead of themselves and what they actually want. We do that for various reasons, though. Sometimes we do that because it's easier, because it takes the responsibility of causing consequences off of us indirectly, because then we have the fallback of saying, well, I just did it because they wanted me to, or I didn't make the choice, or and we indirectly and subconsciously take the responsibility off of us. So because we can also say, I was just doing what they wanted me to do. Sometimes we do this just because we don't want to face the fact or the discord that it causes, because we don't know what to do. So we take the route of just doing what someone else needs, because it helps fill the void in us to see them happy, to see them succeed, because we don't know what to do it for ourselves. But when you really think about the root of everything, is like from the jump, from the time you're born, everybody's saying, no, don't touch that. You need to do this. Go over there, sit down, be quiet. And they're always telling us what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
We never really learn what to do to make us happy. We're constantly learning what not to do to cause of minimal suffering. So the focus has always been on the suffering and what to do not to suffer, instead of what is it that truly makes me happy. So you get to an age where you're 40 years old and you don't know what makes you happy.
Yeah.
It's not, 15 years old, 20 years old, the age is interchangeable. We all get to a point where we have to step back and say, well, what does make us happy? And sometimes that is the root of the reason why we're always trying to do things for other people, is because we can realize and see easier what makes them happy versus what makes us happy. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense. Like, by the way, guys, Carrie just made fun of me. It's not just Raymond that made fun of me. It's also Carrie. She just made fun of me, but that's all right.
Hey, if you guys
they don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing.
Oh, I'll put you out there. She just did it.
I tell everything. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I like what you said is, especially when you're working with kids, it's that effect that it's we teach kids so young to please us, right? Mm-hmm. Do what we say, how I do it, when to do it. Don't ask why, just do it because I said so.
Do what I say, not as I do.
Exactly. And the problem is it's got to be the opposite. It's got to be, you have to act as if you want them to behave, right? You got to mold them in the actions that you take. So, if you're in a household, not good or bad, we all grown up differently, because I can tell you how I grew up all the way up to 34 years old. I cussed like a sailor. I listened to gangster rap with my kids in the car. I've done it all. So I'm not saying, but what I'm saying is, when you want to start really working on yourself, you got to make a commitment first. You got to commit to yourself, right? So, like, the hardest thing to do sometimes, right, Carrie, right, Sarai, is sometimes committing to yourself that you're going to move forward in your life, your goals, your dreams, because once you make that decision, everybody else seems to really not think like to oppose you. Mm-hmm. So what it does is, it's like, well, you know what? I've just been, even if you're not married, there are people who've been together for 20 years, right? And say the husband just says, I won't get married. I don't think it's worth it, right? There's no commitment there. right? But the woman will stay true to the man who's not committed and true to the wife, right? We have to be willing to make a commitment in everything we do. First, starting with ourselves. If you can't even commit to yourself, how can you commit to anything else?
Right. But that's what we do. That's exactly what we do.
Well,
yes,
and most of the time when people oppose us, whether it's, you know, it doesn't matter if it's a parent or a spouse or whatever it is. If you think about it, it's just because we're a reflection of something. So the people that criticize us or oppose us, well, the people that oppose us, it could be because where does it leave them? If you become this great and say you're in a relationship, so if you become very successful, where does that leave them in the relationship? And that could be very scary for them. So they could oppose you for that. The other thing is that they could, if it's a friend of yours that's criticizing you or something like that, then maybe your success is a reflection of the lack of their success. So then their reaction is, why you and not me? And they're not going to say why you and not me. They might criticize it and come from another angle. But many times when those things happen, what's coming out of their mouth and their reaction is very subconscious, and they don't even realize why they're even saying or doing what they're doing, and they justify it with the reasoning behind what they said, if that makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Because we do. Yeah,
so we have I got two questions that I see right here that I want us to address, because I know the three of us, man, we'll start lighting some fireworks, man, and we'll forget about the question. So I'll first want to let's touch on this one. Jamie said, I was so disciplined in spiritual health and personal development before I just got slammed. So I want to take that and I want to say this.
So
and I'm gonna be, huh?
What did that say? That she was disciplined before and now she's
saying that she was disciplined and then she feels like she just got slammed. So I don't know, but so this I'm gonna be bluntly honest, because you guys know I don't hold my tongue, and the answer to that is good. When you get slammed, that means you're progressing, right? When things start to get thrown in front of you, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're following on the path of your journey. And the reason we get slammed is because we take our eyes off the prize. I talked about it the other day. See, our dream, right? Our dream to the world is like this bottle cap, right? To everybody else, our dream is a speck. To everybody else, our goal is a speck. To everybody else, our vision, they can't see it, right? But to us, that vision is the size of the world. That goal is the size of the world. That dream is the size of the world. So when you're doing spiritual growth, you all know about me. The enemy says, oh, heck no, I ain't losing another. So you already know you got to armor up for that. But when I'm going to tell you a secret, Jamie, that really happened to me. I got so into personal development and leadership development, right? And I ended up pissed off and I was angry and I couldn't understand why. And my mentor said this. He said that you're filling yourself with so much information, but you're not taking action on it. So when you start to develop yourself, you start to lie to yourself. It's almost a lie that you tell yourself. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. The problem is you're only doing the development part, but you're not doing anything. You're not starting a business. You're not moving forward in the company. You're not having better relationships. So you're developing yourself, but you're not putting anything into action. And that leaves with frustration. And frustration comes into friction. And once you get friction, that's when you start to fall apart. So I just wanted to address that. Like, be happy when things start getting tough. That means, hey, I'm moving forward. There's a mountain here for a reason. Now I need to level up, right? Every level, another devil, right? I think that's important. How do you feel about that?
The other no, but you know, I'm gonna keep going with what you said. So what you're saying is, based off what you're saying. So if you're feeling that frustration that Raymond is describing, and you're feeling slammed and all of that, instead of laying in that and just whining and complaining and making yourself feel worse, really what pain should be used as leverage. So that pain should move us to another direction, which is what Raymond is saying, which is use it to take action. I talked about it in a live I did earlier today. You need to use that pain to take radical action in your life. So instead of sitting in that pain and letting months and months go by, think about, what do I need to do to get out of this pain? I also think a lot of the solution is in personal development and making plans and learning whatever you need to learn to get out of that. The other thing is that a lot of times when we get slammed, I also think it has to do with fear, with our fears that for some reason you're not moving. And I already know that when you don't move and when you're not taking action, it's usually because of fear. It's the number one reason why people don't take action is because of some type of fear. But the answer to all of that, again, is what Raymond just mentioned, which is taking radical action, taking action. You have to take action to get yourself out of the gutter. And no one can take you out of the gutter. Like, we could talk all day long here, but the only person that could take anyone here out of the gutter is yourself through action. And usually the action is very different from any action you just finished taking. Like, all the actions you took in the last few months that to keep you in the gutter is not going to get you out of the gutter. You have to do something radically different. If you wake up at 11 a.m. or 12 p.m., well, then tomorrow you need to wake up at 5 a.m. If you normally lay in bed and don't take a shower and just lay there, and then, well, tomorrow you need to get up and take a 3-mile walk. It has to be something completely different, completely radical, and you have to do something that you're not used to doing to pull yourself out of that situation. If that makes sense. I'm gonna say that all day long.
I know, right? Well, I'm gonna put my little sprinkle on it.
Sprinkle it, baby.
I'm just I'm just gonna go around it a couple times.
Hey, you forgot to do this. I know.
You know what I'm about to do. I'm about to close the laptop. Like,
you know what? I was thinking the same thing.
Right.
Go.
But for real though, if you feel pain, discomfort, which is the same thing as opposition, something needs to move. Something needs to shift. If I walk up to this wall right here and I think I'm going to keep walking, either I'm going to have to back up and tackle it with everything I got until I break it, or I'm going to have to find a different route to not cause me pain, opposition, or frustration. So anytime you get to a point in your life where you feel like you are being slammed, that is the pain, that is the opposition, that is something manifesting itself as incongruent in your life. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's going to happen whether we cause it or whether we don't.
Amen.
That's not neither here nor there. It's going to happen. But what we need to do in that moment is say, okay, how can I be in flow with this moment? Is it that I have to jump over it? Is it that I got to go around it? Is it that I got to bust through it? Whatever it is that you need to do in that moment, you need to do it though. But the only way to remove that obstacle, that pain, that discomfort is for you to do something different than what you are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want that obstacle, pain, opposition to stay, unless you want to continue to be slammed. You can get comfortable there though, so be careful, because if you get slammed so many times, it doesn't bother you as much anymore. So once you feel like it may be a part of your life and it's just Tuesday or Wednesday, then that's when you have taken on the persona of that slam. And that's where we do not want to be. We want to be in a position to where that slam hurts really bad every time. Because if we get used to the same slam, that's the position in life that we use to stay.
Whew.
And
notice that position.
And notice how all of us, we all said an answer, but all of our answers were worded differently, but they were all the same, which is take action. Learn how to take action quickly. The last couple of weeks we talked about, Raymond, I don't remember if you know the law or if you remember the law, but the law of, I forgot the name of the law, but the law is basically the longer you wait to make a decision, the less likely you're going to make a decision, which is what Carrie's saying. So Carrie's saying, if you spend a long time without making a decision that you know you should be making to improve your life and your situation, the more comfortable and complacent you will become in that place, and the less likely it is that you're going to get out of there. So hopefully that helps. Raymond, I don't know if you have another question. I know Williams is asking a question, but do you have another one?
So I'm listing them as they go, so I can take them in order. The next one is Elizabeth. Elizabeth's question was, how are you balancing everything from children, homeschooling, self-care, building your business, family, etc.? And then she says, some days I'm on it with balance, but other days I slip and feel so overwhelmed as the time passes me by. So since it's more like I don't really deal with the homeschooling, now I'll answer this in my way. But Sarai, since you are, you got your girl at home.
I think she was asking me that. Yeah. I think she was asking me that a long time ago.
I'm just saying. Like, don't look, you just stepped on my toe. You see how she just stepped on my toe? Just assuming. That was messed up.
Go talk.
I was getting ready to pass it to you so you could start, because I assumed she was talking to you.
She asked that a long time ago with the other conversation.
This is
Okay, so I guess what I'll say is, it's not going to be perfect and pretty every time. You're going to have some good days. You're going to have some bad days. Yesterday, Lilith did no homework. I told her she did so great all the other days that she didn't have to do homework that day, and that wasn't true.
Which refers that she's banging her daughter every day during the summer to do work.
Right. My daughter is she's getting homeschooled now, but in reality, when the whole pandemic happened, she barely did anything. So now she doesn't know it's summertime. She thinks summertime just finished.
She thinks it's already over.
She doesn't know that.
She waiting on the leaves to change.
She gonna have the seasons all messed up. Hey, even at Christmas, she's gonna be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Christmas passed.
Yeah, right.
We might have to do that because I don't know what kind of Christmas we're going to be having. But anyway, the point is that you take perfection off the table. We're not going to do anything perfect. Things are not going to be perfect. All you have to worry about, I said it earlier today too, all you have to worry about is showing up and doing the best you can. And if today the best I could do is tell my daughter she doesn't need to do any work because I got to take care of my stuff, then that's my best. My best is saying, making sure that she's taken care of, she ate, she's watching TV and that she's getting taken care of. And then I got to take care of my stuff. And maybe another day it'll be something different. But you have to learn how to prioritize what the important things or the big rocks are. Like we talked about in another live. What are your big rocks that day? Take care of those, and everything else. There just isn't enough room for everything. There isn't enough time. There isn't enough energy. And that's okay. That's okay as long as you did your best. As long as you took action, as long as you took care of at least 3 big rocks. I think we should all have 3 big rocks daily that we take care of. And at the end of the day and at the end of the week and the end of the month, you're going to see progress. And what makes us happy is progress. If you think about it, that when we're not happy, it's because maybe we complained so long and said so much, we wasted so much time and we didn't see progress. But as long as you're seeing progress, even if it's not perfect, you're going to feel good about yourself. Don't you think? Don't you think if there's progress?
Absolutely.
So it's about, we take off perfection off the table. I used to be a big time perfectionist. And if it wasn't perfect, and if I didn't show up perfect, and if I didn't have the perfect situation, and if I didn't have all this, and I think I no longer do that. I don't know. I probably still do it. Look at their face.
Look at Ray.
I think, you see how they laughed at me? Because there probably is still some perfectionistic trait in me. But that is a learned behavior also. It's an overcompensation for stuff from my childhood. So we got to understand that. Like, perfection isn't a nice or pretty trait. It's actually an abusive trait. It's an abusive trait to yourself. It's self-abuse.
Like you just punched yourself. Gosh.
Yeah. So every time, think about that. Like every time you demand perfection of yourself, would you treat your child like that? Would you treat your best friend like that? Like, would you, think about that. That is so abusive to expect perfection from someone when perfection doesn't exist. Basically, we're setting ourselves up for failure every time we expect perfection. And we're not being compassionate with ourselves. But more than likely, we didn't receive that growing up. And so, therefore, we have developed this it's a way of controlling the situation, and it's a way of trying to do our best. But as grown-ups, we could figure out right now that, perfection isn't doing our best. Our best is being honest with ourselves and trying to figure out what is our best and doing that, if that makes sense. I say that every time. That was a real one. That was genuine right there when I said it. Does that make sense?
I think everything we're saying is, hopefully people are retaining it. Hopefully, I don't know whether they use a little recorder or they're taking notes that specifically identify with them. But Carrie, I don't know what because all of our situations are a little bit different, obviously, which is perfect. So obviously, Elizabeth's situation is a little bit different, but we all deal with that. So, like, how do you deal with everything? Like, can you see her question?
I did not see her question. I see her follow-up saying that she's got to take off the guilt for allowing her son to watch too much TV.
Yeah, you got to take off the guilt. Sometimes
because sometimes don't you feel like, and I'm not a TV person, but you know what? Like my kids, they go to school, they play sports, they come home. You know what I mean? They turn on the television, and I don't want them to because I don't like television, but I got to understand that that's their relaxed time. So, and I'd like to say, Elizabeth, and then Carrie, I want you to really take this. What is the television thing? Because I didn't see that comment, but that television thing, don't feel guilty. Use that as time to complete a task.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're a single mom, you're balancing everything. You're trying to create your own business, and I know what you're doing. You're doing great things to empower women and help people, right? So use that as time. Leverage that time to take care of something else. Because if you're thinking about should I or should I not, then you're not getting anything done. So you'd be like, man, gosh, they're watching that television.
The other thing too is that when you have children, it's good to negotiate with your children. So it's good to have whatever list of expectations that you have of them, and then they get to choose how they want to reward themselves, because we have to let children have power too. It can't be that we have all the power and we dictate everything, because then we're not allowed. Then we're contradicting what we're saying right here. If we have all the power and we don't let them choose, then we're teaching them that they need to please us. Then they grow up into people pleasers when they're 40 years old, and then they don't know how to honor themselves or their likes or their dislikes, because all along we taught them that they got to do what we say and it's what we think is correct. What if they think it's cool to watch a 30-minute show? Well, then earn that. Then if you did all these expectations, then you get that. So it's about balancing all that out. It's also about us being ultra aware of our issues. So we all have issues, and we try to correct our issues through our children. So we need to be very careful that we're not imposing our overcorrection on them, because then we're stepping on their toes and who they're meant to be, and we're stepping on what are their likes, what are their dislikes, what do they prefer. Like, I know some parents that say when you get home from school you have to take a shower. Well, what if he wants to take a shower at 9:00 at night before going to bed? That's okay. We don't have to dictate everything, but I know some parents that dictate what you're going to eat exactly. You got to eat the whole plate. And then they wonder why, then you go to a restaurant that you're 40 years old and you get a huge plate, because some restaurants overfeed you. And then you were raised to learn that you had to eat your whole plate. Well, that's not appropriate. Because if I go to a restaurant and they serve me for 4 people, it's not appropriate for me to eat for four people. You know what I mean? But that's something that we teach our kids without even noticing that we're teaching them. You understand what does that?
You'll never say the same again.
Now I'm so aware of that. But I'm a true believer of letting kids be who they are. Like, letting kids be who they are. Like, Carrie and Raymond think that I have my daughter too spoiled, but I let her be who she is. I just let her be who she is. Look at Raymond's face.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm going to just read her question one more time and make sure I have the right question. It says, how are you balancing everything from children, homeschooling, self-care, building your business, family, etc.? Some days I'm on it with balance, but other days I slip and feel so overwhelmed, then the time passes me by. Okay. Okay, I'll make sure I have the right question.
Yeah, that was.
And I wanted to say it out loud so that it's directly connected to what my comment is for this. You say that some days you have it and some days you don't have it. What's the difference? Number one, what is the difference between those 2 days? Because that's how you can tell, like, was it something that happened, or was it something that you just didn't do, or did you do something differently? So if you know what the day feels like when it works, and you know what the day feels like when it doesn't work, what happened in those 2 days? That's where you start. Okay. So once you figure that out, and that takes time, because you're not going to be able to go back and figure out every single thing that worked that day way back when. But what you can do is moving forward, because the time is going to pass anyway, correct? So, and moving forward, when you have that day that seems real good, reflect on that day right then. And that day that seems like it got away from you, reflect on that day right then, and put in the work that it takes to be aware of what is going on in your life, because you are the only one that can control what comes and what goes, what shifts, what changes, what stays, what doesn't work, what does work. Be aware on those days of what happened. And if there's things that were out of your control, let go of that responsibility, because it was out of your control. And take off of that heaviness that goes along with the feeling of having your day go awry when it wasn't something you can control. Because what you can say is, well, obviously that doesn't work, but tomorrow I'm going to get back on track. And don't hold on to that and bring it into the next day. Well, oh my God, yesterday was horrible, and now today I got to make up yesterday. That's impossible. What you can do is just do today what you know works for your days, and make sure you include into it your part in order to making that day turn out the way that you like. So that's.
I want to add something to that. So if you have tendencies to be perfectionistic, I just want you to think about something. Maybe spend the next week thinking about it, and even write about it, because it'll help you process some things. But if you are that person, think about this. There had to be a message in your home, in your childhood. There had to be a message that said you're not enough. So the overcompensation for you're not enough is overdoing and trying to be perfect, which doesn't exist. So ask yourself, what happened to you in your childhood that gave you the message of you're not enough? There had to be, in your home or in your childhood or with whoever raised you, there must have been a message where love is conditional. Because when love is conditional, that makes you feel like you're constantly having to perform in order to receive that love. So if you're able to go through that and process that and think about it, it'll help you on your journey to let go of it, because that's incredibly unrealistic when parents do that. And I'm not saying that the parents that do this or have that message are doing it because they're doing it on purpose and they're awful parents. It's just basically what they learned, and it's their communication pattern. But it really affects us, and it affects us for a lifetime. For a lifetime. That's why we're having this conversation, because it does affect us for a lifetime, and it's a form of emotional and psychological abuse that many parents don't even realize that they're doing. But at 40, we're still carrying this around and still trying to be perfect, and not allowing ourselves to just be us and make mistakes or not be perfect for a whole day. Like, not complete every task on our list. And it takes a long but if you're able to recognize that, if you're able to recognize in what ways were you given unconditional love in your home, maybe also as parents, then we could stop doing that to our kids. Because if you're doing it to yourself, more than likely, if you have children, you're doing it to your children too. You're also demanding things from them that they cannot deliver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true.
Was
there any other ones? Questions? There was a lot of comments, but
I just want to give a disclaimer. This is not therapy, guys. This is purely educational. So don't consider these lives therapy. They are not therapy. This is not therapy. Let me just say it again. This is not therapy. In
other words, don't be blowing up our inbox because it didn't work for you.
No. Yeah. Don't say that I gave me therapy on the live, because that's this is not therapy.
We just did a whole live on one question.
I know, right?
That was a lot for me to retain. Oh, gosh, a little bit. I think I don't. Man, I think we went way left field with that one, but hopefully.
Maybe some people out there needed to hear some stuff here.
I was just talking about. I was just saying, don't feel guilty with letting your kid watch TV. We did a whole sermon on it. Oh, that's all good though. That's why I'm not a counselor, because you wouldn't get that from me. So I got written down here. I'm lost. I'm lost. Hold on. Bear with me a minute. I have.
You ain't got nothing for time, brother.
Look, so Francisco, his question was, is he's 51 and he feels that more and more doors close as I age, as far as new career opportunities, especially now through the pandemic. Your thoughts? So I would say with this one, for me at 40 years old, right, I could feel exactly the same way. So I know people who are in their 20s who already feel like opportunities have passed them by, right? So I think this is what I think. No opportunity can pass you by when you create the opportunity, right? And what I want us to understand is we think that we need, again, Sarai was talking about being perfect. We think we need a perfect opportunity. No, opportunity means there's an opportunity. Now we must move into the opportunity. What do I need to learn? I'll start learning it in the process. I'll start doing what needs to be done in the process. There's a pandemic. The 9-to-5 job is not the 9-to-5 job. The internet disrupted the industry, right? The internet changed the game. YouTube changed the game. Facebook changed the game. Instagram changed the game. See, what happens is I was one of those ones. I don't need social media. It's garbage. I don't need social media. It's horrible. Social media does this, but what I learned was, do you know what good social media can create? The content you can do to uplift, inspire, to motivate, to move, and the opportunities that's right at our fingertips, the type of listen, you got 3 people right in front of you right now who would have never met each other if it wasn't for Facebook. We would have never created a masterclass. We would have never started to build this relationship that's probably going to move on for the rest of our lives, right? And it came because we know that there's opportunity in everything. So no matter where you're at, no matter what age you are, I think sometimes I see older people. I want to tell you a story, right? There's an 83-year-old woman. I used to be in a multi-level marketing company about 6 years ago. 83-year-old woman that I sat down with. And of course, her kids were gone. Her grandparent or her grandchildren were in college. She felt like she was alone. Man, I've done all this. I've created. I'm retired. I'm this. I still got all this energy. And so what happened? She joined me in my endeavor. And the best thing, like she didn't do it to build a business. She started to develop her mind with books and seminars that she has never been around before. And I saw this woman just love people. She just had a blast just being around people, just changing her mindset and understanding that I'm 83, but I feel like I'm 53. So I think doors close because we don't see the opportunity in the doors. And I'm a firm believer that God puts a wedge in a door and will crack it for you. But I also believe that God won't keep the door cracked forever. I believe that God will allow that door to shut because we get complacent and sometimes making excuses why we can't move through that door. Well, I'm not ready yet. Well, I don't have the smarts yet. Well, I can't take that course yet. Well, I can't do this. Well, I can't invest in that yet. Well, if you can't do anything, then you'll never have the opportunity to actually just say, you know what? This is where I'm at. This is what I want, and I'm going to go at it. And then you'll find the people that will come in line with you that you can start to do something, because I can't do what Carrie does. I can't do what Sarai does. I just can't. Like Sarai will tell you, she'll be like, you should do this. And I'm like, it frustrates me. I can't. Just tell me when I need to talk. And I think that's it, is what are you passionate about? First, it starts with passion, right? It starts with passion. Once you have the passion, right, and what now you have potential, because with passion, now you have the potential in whatever area you're jumping into, because you have the what's the word? Enthusiasm. right? You have the enthusiasm through the passion to have the potential in what you're pursuing. And then once you start pursuing it, you'll start to align yourself with your purpose. And I don't care if you're 51, if you're 101, if you're 21, when you find that purpose, opportunities will look so much different. The doors that once closed, you'll understand why. And the doors that are open, you'll start to take moves into. But we have to prepare ourselves for that opportunity that does not look like we think it should look. It doesn't look like that perfect dressing, that perfect cake. You see, when you see like one of those bakers and you look at that finished cake and it's like, that's the most amazing cake. Do you know that they probably made 1,000 cakes that look like doo-doo? But we see that finished product. We see the finished product. We didn't see the 100 cakes before to make that finished product. So I think we just have to understand that, man, when opportunity knocks, don't be afraid to take it. Even if it doesn't become the thing that takes you to the next limit, it's what you're going to learn in the process to get you prepared for the next opportunity. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're all saying if that makes sense.
And I want to go on the other side of what Ray is saying, because he's saying like an opportunity can't pass you up because you are the one that creates their opportunity. And Jim Rohn puts it in another way, and it's exactly saying the same thing. But he's saying a opportunity will soon elude those who's unprepared.
Amen.
So it's because the opportunity never presents itself to you because you weren't prepared, because an opportunity is not going to waste itself on the unprepared. So what Ray is saying is you won't even have the opportunity if you have not prepared to be ready and deserving of the opportunity. Now, we do get opportunities that sometimes, may come too soon or whatever, just because that's the way things are lined up. But it will soon be lost because you don't have what it takes to keep that. So always make sure you're constantly working, but don't get stuck into that perfection category like Sarai was talking about earlier. Is because that's when you start to spin your wheels, kind of like stripping a screw. If it stops winding, you need to move on to a different screw. But some people just like to sit on that one screw, and just because that screw's spinning, you think you're tightening. You're not tightening. You just messing stuff up. You're just messing stuff up.
And that makes you mad as heck.
Man, because then you can't ever tighten it again. You ain't even got to take the screw out, but you got to put it somewhere else when you put it back. And so it's like you got to make sure you know where you're going, that you can do that, just like Ray's saying, because you can build it yourself. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like Sarai's saying, just do something. But through the act of doing something, you will build exactly what you want if you just do what it takes to get there. Period.
Amen. Well put. I love that. I love that analogy, man. And you're right. I remember Jim Rohn saying that. Some of them things are just mind blowing when you look at it. Yeah. It's mind blowing. Yeah. Sarai is over here. I think Sarai's having her own party.
You don't even know what just happened, but it's funny.
Are you drinking over there?
She over there playing Candy Crush.
Wait, I want to say something too. So people, look, take the age off the table. Age doesn't reflect anything. Your age doesn't tell you how long you're gonna live, so it doesn't matter. Your age doesn't matter. What matters is that you're healthy. And if you're healthy and you have breath in your lungs and you have energy, then you're good. Because there's some people that are 20 and are not healthy and can't really do a lot. So the age thing doesn't matter. So take that off the table. And, sometimes it affects me too, because sometimes I want to do something and people are like, at your age, you want to do that? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, should I be thinking that? And then I shrink and I'm like, wait, should I be thinking like that? And I'm like, I don't care about age. I don't ever think about age. I think about energy. I don't even attract people my age into my life. Like, they're just not, they're not there. So take the age thing off the table. Just focus on living your life. And the truer you are to your desires, the truer you are to the things that you truly want, and your passions and your gifts and your dreams, that's all that really matters. That's going to determine the quality of your life. So this is more about quality of life instead of a checkoff. It's not a check off of things you needed to do by age 50. It's about your daily quality of life. Did you enjoy your day today? Did you speak to the people you wanted to speak to? Did you do the things you wanted to do? Did you feel good today? In the days that you don't feel good, the days that you feel crappy and you're at home and you're whining or you don't feel good, that's a wasted day. I mean, the only good thing that came out of that day is that hopefully it pissed you off enough that tomorrow will be better. But if then tomorrow you wake up and you have the same kind of day, that's another wasted day until the day that you decide to do something about it. So it's really not about your age. It's not about a checkoff. It's about the quality of your life, and it's about what you're doing with your day to produce joy in your life. That's pretty much bottom line what it is. And I know I'm saying it like this, and sometimes it's actually hard for me to do too. But this is what this is what I believe in, and I believe, let me tell you, I'm saying that about myself, and it honestly has only been, and I've been a therapist for 20 years, and I talk like this, and I do all of this, but to be 100% honest, it's only been in the last year and a half that I have gone more full force. I'm not even telling you I've gone full force because I'm still not even full force. I've gone a little bit closer to full force of living my life on my terms, how I want to live it. And it's really just a matter of decision, because right now I could decide to live my life 100% full force. But what stops me is still a little bit of fear. So fear is still something that, fear is something that we all have in common. And anyone that says that they don't have that is full of crap. Because fear is the thing that stops us over and over again from doing the things that we truly desire. And that's the difference between living an amazing, great life and just living a mediocre life. If you take fear off the table, imagine the stuff you'd be doing. Like you guys, if we took fear off the table, how different would our life be tomorrow? I mean, I might be in a plane going somewhere. Like that's what would be happening. So if I took fear off the freaking table, what kind of life would I be having? What I mean, could you imagine how quicker you could get to where you want to be? So fear is the thing that stops us. And thinking about like, oh, my age, or those obstacles is like wasted thoughts and wasted energy. Instead, what we need to be thinking is, what do I need today to improve myself? What do I need to do to gain the skills I need to gain? I mean, you can read books and books and books that of so many people that became most successful in their life in their 50s. I mean, if you read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he actually talks about that there, that everybody thinks that in your 20s and your 30s is when you're most successful, but no, your 20s and your 30s are the training ground, and that's the preparation time for what's to come. So Francisco, my cousin, that's my cousin, by the way, Frank out there, Frank, listen to me. You don't know that maybe the next 30, 40 years of your life will be the best years of your life. They will be the best years of your life. So don't think, oh man, I'm already 51. No, I'm 51 and I'm going to have the best years of my life. And I'm going to do whatever I need to do to prepare myself. And if you need me to bust out a list of names of people that made it in their 50s and their 60s, and that's when they became millionaires, and that's when they found their soulmate, and that's when they did all these amazing things, and their quality of life went from nothing to like boom, a dream, then I'll come up with that list. I'll research it, because I know there are a lot of people that did that. So take age off the table. It's like what one of you were saying about preparation. And there's another book, a Babylonian book. I forgot what it's called, like The Richest Man in Babylon. Yeah, that book. And guys, you need to read. Like we need to read to get better. But The Richest Man in whatever it's called, Babylonia. They talk about Lady Luck, and it's what Carrie was saying. You need to constantly be preparing yourself and showing up as your best self. Yeah, that book. You don't need to show up as your perfect self. You need to show up as your best self, because you never know when opportunity, Lady Luck, is going to show up. There's no such thing as luck. But you know what there is? Opportunity. And many people call luck what is actually just opportunity meeting preparation. If you're prepared when an opportunity shows up, guess what? You're the one that's going to snag it. It's not going to be the person who wasn't ready for it. So your job is only to prepare yourself for what's to come. Right. I get very excited about that, because I'm also his same age. So I never think about age. Like Raymond tries to tell me about my age. He's like, "Oh, because you're this age." I'm like, "And what does that mean?"
Like you put me on blast like that. So messed up.
He says that. I'm like, no, you're 40 years old. Like, I never think about age. People, age doesn't matter.
I look like I'm 5 years old though, so don't even go there.
I don't think I look my age, so we're all good.
I don't think any of us look our age.
No,
here's a great question. Elizabeth Moya, like I can text you a couple, but she's asking what are your top 1 or 2 books or podcasts that inspire you to be your best self? That's a great question.
That is
like Elizabeth's coming with some strength tonight. Like but you know what's impressive about that is it seems to me like she's ready to level up. Right? There's these questions are telling me like I'm ready to level up. That's what I like. Like when I read these questions, I feel like it's level up time.
Yeah.
That's good. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So
Elizabeth, are you ready to level up? Tell us. Are you ready?
So for example, we always, I think every entrepreneur I've ever came across, and I've come across tens of thousands of entrepreneurs / business owners / people who are chasing their goals and their dreams. And the one book that every single one of them has read literally 5+ times is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
It's one of the most popular books for anybody to really dive into because it's talking about that purpose. It's talking about that definite purpose, that underlying thing that burns inside of you. So Elizabeth, if you've never read that book, I think that's a great book to read. There's a good book too I want to recommend, and I'm not going to say it's one of my favorites, but it's a very simple, and it's written by Gary Keller from Keller and Williams Real Estate, and it's called The One Thing. It's called The One Thing, and it teaches you how to focus on the one thing that's going to take your business to the next level, not the thousands of other things. What's the one biggest thing that can take you to the next level? So those Think and Grow Rich, I think is got to be. If you want to be an entrepreneur, read the book as many times as you can. And I'm going to tell you a book when it comes to personal development, guys. And you know what I'm going to say? What book you think I'm going to say?
Come on. I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. It's called Positive or Thinking. I can't remember the thing.
Nope. Outwitting the Devil.
Oh, yeah. No, that wasn't it.
That was my guess.
You see who the author is?
Napoleon Hill.
Man, it must be. You must want to go read Napoleon Hill. Outwitting the Devil is one of the most profound, on point, powerful, personal development books you'll ever read in your life. Period. I believe.
You still got to read that book.
And it deals a lot with fear and overcoming fear. What's on the other side of fear?
It's not even that. It talks about how what intrigues me about the development part. It talks about how we are taught to think at such young ages. How we're trained from the schools to the churches, how we're trained from our parents. Like it talks about how, like, if you're a nicotine smoker, how if you're a true science research shows that if you're a nicotine smoker, it disallows you to properly think. Like simple things like that. When you read this book, it'll, I'm telling you right now, I'm on my 3rd time reading it. The book will change your life. Like Elizabeth, I tell you, man, that book right there, Outwitting the Devil, when you talk about personal development, it'll blow your stinking mind. It'll blow your mind.
What happened to Carrie?
She paused the video. She probably like I don't know.
Oh, is that pause?
You asked me where Carrie went, like I was with her. Why are you changing the screen around?
I don't know what I'm doing.
So I mean, like, what are your 2 books? What are the 2 books that you recommend?
My all-time favorite book is what you just said, Think and Grow Rich. Carrie,
what happened? Did you fall out of your chair? Did you fall out of your chair?
Proceed.
What did she say?
She said, proceed. What's your 2 favorite books, girl?
He said, you asked me where she went, like I went with her.
Generational
Oh no, I was cracking up. I don't know.
I don't want to know what
Let
happened.
the truth really be told. I had to pee. Okay, I had to go.
You know what? I've been thinking about doing that for about 25 minutes.
I was like, you know what we said? When you hit opposition, you gotta change something. I
That's some good stuff right there.
I didn't even get it right now. I'm so lost. I don't even know what people are talking about. I don't know what's happening. I don't know.
Look, hey, Sarai, catch it on the
replay. Hold on. You guys, hey, look. Guess what?
Exactly.
What? I don't get it. I'm so lost.
Sorry, I had to pee. Okay, I had to pee.
Oh, he went to pee. Oh, we're getting delirious now. All right, guys. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, but I got
books. I got
books. Go. They're misbehaving. They are misbehaving.
Maps of Meaning. It is a very, very long book. It's by one of the guys that you like, Jordan Peterson. Jordan B. Peterson. It is absolutely amazing, but it is very, you need to be committed. If you're going to read it, please be committed because it's so good. I'm on my second go. It took me 2 months to read it because I was doing it on Audible, so I was just doing it when I was in my car, and, cleaning or doing stuff like that. But
it's really awesome.
Good. Huh?
Is it awesome?
It is absolutely awesome. It is absolutely awesome. It's very psychological.
Yeah, he's incredible.
A lot of terms, so it explains things. It used, the technical psychological terms, but it's in very layman language. You know what I mean? So you can get it. Anyone can get it. You just have to be committed to receiving it, basically. The other one is The Untethered Soul. Melissa, thank you. She's the one that recommended this book to me. I've just started it. I've been listening to it for about a week. Absolutely amazing. I already know it is already life-changing, which has got me on my meditation journey that I was telling you about earlier. Yeah. And then the other one is Atomic Habits by James Clear. One of my coaches that I had, Lachelle Barnett, recommended this one, and it's really, really good because it breaks down the science behind what creates and maintains or changes habits. It's really, really, really good. So Atomic Habits, The Untethered Soul, and Maps of Meaning. Those are my top 3 that I would recommend.
And I've never read Maps of Meaning, but I know Jordan Peterson is like amazing. So
he's so good.
The books I'm gonna say Think and Grow Rich. That book is this big, but I spent a year going through it because I would reread it to try to memorize it. Because every page has Oh, right. Isn't it one of those kind of books? Like I would be at the red light and I'd open it up and try to read it. Like I was trying so hard it was like a Bible. I was walking around everywhere just trying to memorize it. And the other book and by the way, the Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is the first book that the greatest business schools in the United States have their students read. That's how good that book is. And yeah, and it's all about your mindset. It has to do with your mindset, your beliefs, and the way you talk. So I'm not gonna do a spoiler alert, but anyway, just go ahead and get that book for sure. That's the #1 book everyone should read. And then my other book, I love all John Maxwell books. So, but what I'm gonna say is that one of his best books that I had the same type of experience that I carried it around and I try to memorize every single page is his 21 Laws of Leadership book. That book is like awesome. It talks about leadership, but it's about you. It's about you and your self-leadership. And basically what he says, and I'll say this really quick, is your level of success can go higher than your level of self-leadership. So this is your level of discipline. It doesn't matter how cool you are. It doesn't matter how much you know. It doesn't matter how much you talk. If you don't upgrade yourself as far as leadership, discipline, and all these other things, you cannot surpass that. It's called the ceiling, or they call it the lid. You cannot surpass the lid. Your lid is your level of self-leadership, discipline, and all those things. If you don't change that, you're not going to get anywhere. So basically,
that's so true.
From my 2 books. Oh, that book is awesome, Carrie. Like I couldn't let it go.
Which one that was John Maxwell? I think we have that book here, Ash. I think Lori has that book.
Well, all his books are amazing.
There's so many, but the best thing you could do is actually where you're at or where you're stuck at is to ask questions, right? Mm-hmm. Like we can go online and say, hey, best book for this, and it's going to pull up 100 books. Ask your mentor, ask your coach, ask the people who have success and where you've been, so they can recommend the books that have really changed and turned in them. There's a book that I ask everybody because everybody struggles with some type of identity. T.D. Jakes wrote a book called Identity, and I recommend that. I don't care, like, read the book. Actually read the book. I don't know where you're at with God or anything because T.D. Jakes is a pastor, but he's a powerful speaker. He's a powerful motivator. He's a powerful author. But the book Identity is like, read the book Identity. Read the book. Read the book.
Well, identity is everything because depending on your identity, you create your life based on what you believe about yourself. So
and you know, psycho-cybernetics is another y'all are, if y'all ain't already bought these books that Zori's great. Like she hears me like she'll call me 2 days later. She's like, man, that book is great. Like Zori is on it, boy. I'm telling you right now. I love that kind of stuff. Elkie is too. Elkie will send me a picture. Elkie, she's like, I'm like, yeah, there you go. Like, isn't that weird? That excites me about books. Like, I don't know.
That's
weird.
Good. That's good. You know, they always say if you want to hide something from a man, put it in a book.
Hey, you know what my mentor asked me? Did I ever tell you that story? What's up, Queen Brandy? When my mentor asked me, he said, do you read? I said, no, I don't read. And his next question was, you can't? And I said, yeah, I can read. He says, so you just won't read? And I said, no, I won't read. I don't read. And he said, I'm telling you, this is almost a 70-year-old man at the time. And he looks at me and he goes, imagine being broke the rest of your life. And he turned and he walked away from me. And I sat there like, I want to punch him in the back of his head. Like, I was like, but I couldn't understand. But then I was listening to an audio, and they were talking about, like, if you're not willing to educate yourself from the literature that's been done and people have put all their blood, sweat, and tears in, then you'll be broke in everything you do. They were talking about your finances, your relationships, your business, your people skills, your development skills, your family life, like everything. And I was like, wow, maybe I should read.
Yeah. I tell you, there would be a shortage of books.
Yes. So, and I want to say one more thing when it comes to books. When you're asking for books, don't ask to read books and don't read books for information. You need to devour the books for transformation. The books are to transform you, so you take action. A book without action is information. A book with action is transformation in progress. So always make sure when you're reading the book that you're reading the book to transform your life. Like if you look at my books, like there's some people, they don't want to crinkle their pages, man. Like I'm freaking crossing, I'm stretching, I'm Xing out what I don't believe in. I'm writing literature and I'm saying, ooh, and I'm writing paragraphs to myself. I'm putting arrows down here, man. I got highlighters and man, I'm telling you, I devour them. I devour them because the second time you read it, you're going to be like, wow, I didn't see that the first time. The third time you read it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. The fourth time you read it, you're going to be like, I get it. I actually get it now. So and that's just, those are just some principles that I've learned in this 6-year journey. And I wish I could read a book a day. I really do.
Oh, me too. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't get nothing else done. If I could just turn Audible on and lay on my back in my floor and listen to books all day.
I could see you right now, like levitating, Carrie. I could see you
already
like
know. Right now downstairs, I have a pallet built in the floor because once I get off this live, I'm going to just go lay flat on the living room floor. That is my happy place.
That is so funny. Hey, I absolutely love it so stinking much. I love it so much.
What is it that Jim Rohn says? He says a formal education will get you a job, and self-education will get you rich, or something like that. That's what he says.
A self-education will get you wealthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, guys. So you know what? We've been an hour and a half as usual. Apparently, this is the time. This is how we roll. We roll for an hour and a half. That's what it is. We try to make it an hour, but it ends up being an hour and a half over and over again. So this is just what it is. It is what it is, right? So we're the Wednesday night hour and a half nonstop talking people. So let's say bye to everyone. I hope you guys had a great night. I hope you got your list of books and you got your nuggets. Oh, I wanted to say, so we're all here together, and guys, we're so excited to announce that we will be doing our Rise Up Masterclass really soon again. Yeah, so we're so excited, and it's gonna be on August 27, 28, 29, 30. Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna be 27, 28, 29, 30. Pretty soon. By the end of this week, I'll probably be putting out the link and doing all that stuff. But we're super excited to do that. We're super excited to serve you. We're super excited to help you transform into your greatest self. We're super excited to help you develop your vision. Well, I have so many super excited stuff to say. We're super excited about breaking through your limiting beliefs. I'm super excited about being your coach and helping you just, become all of you, because we really believe in you. And even if you're, I think it was Jamie said something about being slammed. Well, you know what? Whoever feels slammed out there, it's not just Jamie. Probably a lot of people feel that way out there, but that doesn't mean that the gift that you have inside is gone. It's still in there, and we are super excited about uncovering it in each one of you. So I truly believe that everybody has a gift inside of them, and I love to discover that gift. I love to find it. Yeah, no, I'm talking too much. I'm just super excited.
Is that a high five?
No, I have. She raised her hand.
Are you doing it tonight?
Yeah. I'm raising my hand.
But she sits straight up. She's like.
and I can't do my arm as straight as hers. Like her arm is like.
She's like in here.
See how everyone out there, like, do you guys see how they pick on me? This is all the time. I know you guys thought it was just Raymond during our show.
Look, she's an undercover bully. She's an undercover bully, guys. Don't even believe her.
Like, right.
Look. I am so sweet. I'm so sweet, like sweet like honey. And they pick on me so much.
Yeah.
No, for real. I did say something. No, for real. I promise. I wasn't just picking. I was picking, but it wasn't. I really
I'm so excited.
No. So listen, what I was telling you before. I don't know if I think I was telling you or Raymond. So when we're talking about going into the Rise Up Masterclass, and we're talking about people who feel like they're being slammed, people who feel like they have, just come to their last leg, and it's like, somebody got to tell me something real soon before I get this thing up, because I'm just going to stay where I am and be fine with this, and just be like, maybe this is just all there was for me. Let me ask you a question. On the sunniest of days, the brightest of days, there's no clouds, there's just sun and blue skies, right? And you picture that blue sky. You get a good visualization of that blue sky and what that blue sky looks like, right? And then you have your dark days where the clouds roll in, the rain is pouring, the hail is coming, and you can no longer see that blue sky. Does that mean that blue sky does not exist? No, it does not. It just means that there are circumstances that roll through every once in a while, but that blue sky still exists. You just got to get back to the blue sky. And we're going to have it, because we're going to have to rise above any cloud that can ever come in your life.
I love it. I love it.
That was a great way to
I love that, and as you were saying that, what I was thinking to myself, and I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm gonna be bluntly honest with you. For people who do not show up for themselves, will never get results that they ask for. See, so many people ask for success, ask for relationships, but never take the initial step for anything. people wanted things handed to them. See, you have to invest into this. This is the most important, your investment, because you might come to our class and you hear one sentence from Carrie, you hear one thing from Sarai, you hear one thing from me, and you can transform everything in your family, everything in your business, everything in your life. But if you miss that opportunity, as Eric Thomas said, you could push your goals back a year, 2 years, 3 years. You don't know. So my thing is this, as Carrie was saying, when that blue sky is not there, you know, does that mean it's not coming back, or does that mean? So what I want you to understand is, I'm going to put this out here to everybody, because I believe everybody has has a great gift. You know how I feel. But I believe that each one of you, if you do not invest in yourself, whatever it is, the books, the audios, the classes, the seminars, whatever it is, coming along with us in this ride for the, I mean, we're giving it away for like just the information you're going to get from, you got a master licensed trauma therapist, you got the rooted in greatness, and you got me, who's just a loudmouth. But between the three of us, there's so much that we've gone through from our brokenness, from our struggles, and the process we've all put ourselves together in, and the people and the information. You're going to get so much knowledge. But this is the one thing I want everybody to understand, and this goes for me and on all three of us as well. There are people that are counting on you. There are people that are counting on you, that you're going to influence in their lives, that are broken, that are struggling, that me, Carrie, and Sarai are never going to have a chance to speak to, never going to have a chance to influence, but you are. And if you do not take the time to invest into yourself, if you do not take the time to become who you need to become, then them people will never have the opportunity. So I really take, like, I'm serious when I say that you are going, you have to think about the people that are coming behind you, and that you're going to influence, and that you're going to help get out from where they are. This is an opportunity that you can prepare. It's the preparedness, right, before the storm. Don't prepare in the storm, prepare for the storm. So that way, when someone comes to you, you don't have to point them to anybody else. You can say, I understand, and I can help you too. And that's what I really want you guys to understand, man, because you got people counting on you. So,
yeah. And today the theme was how to be your own hero, and today the theme was like how to be your own hero by being your best friend. And you know, like Raymond was just saying right now, the good thing about our class at this point, anyone listening out there, is that we're in the beta phase of our class. Therefore, that means that you guys are actually, if you join our class, we already had one of our classes. We're gonna have, this is our second class, but this is gonna be the last time that we have it at the low price of $97, because we're in the process of perfecting it and continuing to develop it. And whoever joins our class right now, you're gonna get it for $97. But the reason why you're getting it at a reduced rate is because we are in the beta phase. And being in the beta phase, that means that you're part of it. You're part of the production of it, because you're going to be telling us what works, what didn't work, and all of that. So this is a good time for you guys to join. You'll be part of our experience of developing it, and you're also getting it at a price that is not going to exist after this time. And it's going to be a 4-day event, and you're going to get so much out of it, that honestly, it has enough information in it that if you took action, because it's one thing to soak it all in, but it's another thing to, as soon as that class ends or during the class, you could start taking action immediately with the stuff that we're teaching you and the stuff that we're talking about. So we would love to have as many of you as there as possible. We would love for you to say yes to yourself, to rise up and say yes to, that's why we call it Rise Up Masterclass, because it's about you rising up. It's about you believing in the gifts that you have inside of you. It's about you, you know, and I'm going to say something. Raymond has me reading the Bible because it just planted seeds in me, and I'm about to say something about that, you know, which is, if you get an agreement with God, getting an agreement with God is believing in what He has in store for you. But the way that you show and demonstrate that you are in agreement with Him is by taking action. When you take action, You're not just saying I'm in agreement with God. You're saying I'm in agreement and I have faith. And I have faith that what I have inside of me and what I'm believing is going to come to fruition. So that is real being in agreement with God. That's really having a faith walk. So if you're ready for that, if you're ready to get in agreement with what's in store for you, and I know that you know what's in store for you because you know the seed that you have inside of you. You know the gifts that you have inside of you. If you haven't moved on your gifts, it's because you're afraid to. You're afraid of something. You're afraid of losing stuff, or you're afraid of people making mistakes. Whatever it is that you're afraid of, that's the only reason why you haven't made a move. So it's time to make a move. We're imploring you. That's why we're here doing this, and that's why we do all of this, is to wake you up, shake you up. I hope that when I'm screaming like this and all the Cuban comes out, I know I'm screaming. I hope that I'm screaming and all the Cuban in me is coming out and my passion is coming out. I want you to understand that my passion is coming out because the more you say yes to yourself and the more you become more of yourself, you're actually making me, you're making my Thrive story come to life, because that's my gift. My gift is to shake you up and wake you up to the true self, to your true self. And if I get to do that with one of you, that's it. You made my day. You made my day. That's why, like, sometimes Raymond says, I tell everyone, how great they are, but it's because I see greatness in every person. I don't care what you look like, what you're doing. I don't care how shitty life looks for you right now. But if I listen to you, if I just close my eyes and I just listen to your words, I could hear where your greatness is, and I can reflect it back to you, and I can wake you up about it. And that's what I do. That's my gift. That's what I do. And my profession is therapy. But my gift, I could have done my gift as a nurse, as a doctor, as anything else, as a teacher. I just chose a profession. But my profession is the vehicle with which I deliver my gift. My gift, this platform is the platform that I use to deliver my gift. I am well aware of my gift. My gift is to tell you how great you are. My gift is to listen to you and to help you discover who you are. And that's what we do. So I want to tell you, let's rise up. Let's say yes to ourselves. Let's do this. We're ready for you. We're so ready for you. We are so ready for you. And who's ready to say yes to themselves? Just go ahead and tell us there on Carrie saying yes to herself. And if I'm screaming, guys, it's because I get way excited. I just get too excited. I'm too passionate and too excited about stuff.
Plant the seeds. 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 God will help them grow.
And we all will have a good time doing harvest time.
Hey, Laura, I got Irish. I'm not kidding. I got Irish hand gestures.
She's talking about me. And
I know.
I have no idea what either one of you are talking about.
Laura says, because I was talking like that. Laura says,
oh, Cuban is. Oh, gosh. I was like, oh, comment. Got it.
Rise up. Let's go. All right. Well, let's say good night, man, because we'll be here all night. It's already 9:08.
We can be here all night.
We have an appointment. We have an appointment right now, guys.
Listen, you guys are really, is I always tell you guys, when I get messages and text messages and emails and I see you on social media coming outside your comfort zone, that's all I need. That fills my glass. And then I can feed you back with the overflow from you living your life. So with that, y'all know me. I'm Raymond Wright, motivator, inspirator, transformator. I love y'all to pieces. Y'all are always in my prayers. God is always with you because I'm always praying over you. Never forget your importance in this world and your mission. So with that.
All right. Bye.